Just so you know, this is a record that most of you have probably never heard before in your whole lives. There's manipulation going on Wall Street in the cryptocurrency, stock market, real estate, and almost every other area. It's easy. Yes, that was a really big surprise, right? Today, we're going to show you a bit of what's going on behind the scenes because, some people I agree with have some very bad plans when it comes to crypto manipulation and having a monopoly on the delivery of some different cryptocurrencies. That's something we should at least be aware of, and I guess we should do something about it. Regardless, I digress. First, you men need to understand what is happening, how this manipulation is occurring, what role BlackRock is playing, and how other leaders are also playing a major role in what is occurring here. So with that out of the way, let me start by showing you a clip from a new video that Old Coin Daily put out in which he talked to people who had been to an event and talked about some exciting things. Friends, listen to this. The furniture and decorations are beautiful, but the guests are even better. That insider information I got about things like the USA Bitcoin Reserve, this guy was actually telling me that he works with the US government, and I checked this guy out with the US government to really pave the way for a Bitcoin United Reserve, right? Based on the fact that they are at the printer, that could make the US the biggest buyer of capacity in history. Does that make sense? I know it will happen because I just talked about it. How do they know for sure that it will happen? He does work for Trump, though. Holy shit, guys. Someone says it's no longer happening, friend. No, it's okay to be skeptical. Everyone gets Bitcoin at the rate they deserve. That's pretty crazy, right? Basically, we had a big Michael Saylor event. I mean, it's clear that it's Michael Saylor. There may be a lot of people there who are interested in cryptocurrencies, but most of them will be talking about Bitcoin. Obviously, people who talk a lot about crypto outside of Bitcoin will also be at this event. So there could be some very important things going on behind the scenes. I mean, that Bitcoin becoming a strategic reserve currency in the US is pretty much a sure thing. This is what the US federal government is going to do now. That makes no sense. That's also crazy, right? When you add what it means into the mix, it's pretty clear to me that there are some big feelings going on behind the scenes, especially with what I'm about to tell you about BlackRock. But there is another part of this that pretty much backs up what I'm saying, and that is Brad Garlinghouse's recent statement. This is definitely what's popular on Twitter right now. There was clear direction for me to share this with you guys the day before. As soon as Brad Garlinghouse tweeted this, you could hear everyone talking about it. This is now the most pro-crypto Congress in history, and a lot is going on. That being said, there may also be some really cool things happening for XRP at the moment. We can see that Ripple works with SEPA, or the Instant Credit Transfer System. Every day, SEPA handles $2.6 trillion. We can see that the demand for XRP in particular is only going to keep going up this year in 2025. You already know that Europe could be one of the biggest places for both XRP and RLUSD. Additionally, I believe that South Korea and Japan will play a very important role in the future growth of XRP's ecosystems. That's why we need to pay attention to agreements like SEPA, which stands for the Instant Credit Transfer System. Of course, there are also big deals going on in China right now, as we can see. The most important thing to note is that there are big waves going on in the scam area. Okay, I'm sure you've all heard about FTX, the biggest stock exchange, and the founder of that trade who went to jail for handling people's money badly, lying to the public, and other terrible things. And they will soon be returning $16 billion to the people who lent them money. And that's all the money it's going to float right back into the crypto market. When you add in the fact that XRP is getting into a multi-trillion-dollar market and making those big partnerships, as this paper shows, you can see that the FTX creditor situation is making billions of dollars. When I think about all the important things that are going on in government, it seems clear, at least to me, that this year is very special for some reason. However, there is one thing I've been mentioning a lot in this video that we really need to keep an eye on because it will have an impact on the whole crypto business. And this is none other than Larry Fink, CEO of BlackRock, because he isn't just buying Bitcoin for the sake of buying Bitcoin. He has a reason behind it. What I mean is that the Bitcoin ETF gives BlackRock a way to get a controlling share of the Bitcoin deliver. This is a problem that should worry people because Larry Fink, the CEO of BlackRock, controls all the top tech companies and most of the top banks. He has a monopoly in several different businesses. I mean, this guy is probably one of the most powerful people in the world because he's in charge of trillions of dollars worth of assets and now wants to take over the Bitcoin market. So I want to draw attention to this post from More Financial right here that I just saw on X. He says, it seems like BlackRock is probably trying to split Bitcoin in two. Don't think about me. There are CC filings that back this up. Yes, if you own Bitcoin, you should read this. In fact, if you own any cryptocurrency, you should read this because BlackRock forking Bitcoin and starting to control the chain of Bitcoin is going to have a big impact on the whole crypto industry. Bitcoin is one of the most important signs for the market as a whole. For sure, this could have big effects on everything if we don't do something about it. In light of this, BlackRock's ETF is becoming more and more popular. Some people on Twitter are against this BlackRock, but most people don't pay attention to them because governments are focusing on Bitcoin instead. After a few months, the loud minority's advice is ignored. This means that if BlackRock were to do a fork of Bitcoin, they would likely make a new blockchain with slightly different rules. What does this mean now? They could theoretically use Bitcoin to pay for anything they want, which would mean they could print more Bitcoin Cash. This means they could add new trends that work for them at the expense of small buyers. All of these are chances for them to do what they can do. What's the big deal about this? Well, I need to look into something right now that I don't know much about, to say the least. As promised, here's a picture of the iShares Bitcoin Trust's SEC filing pamphlet. It says that the sponsor will decide on his own which network should be taken into account for the right group. There is no promise that the sponsor will pick a digital asset that is the most valuable fork in the end. To put it another way, their paperwork does say that their Bitcoin ETF could be used for a Bitcoin split. This seems a little strange since no one was even talking about this before BlackRock showed up. I mean, there was probably a very small group of people, less than 0.1% of the Bitcoin community, who had said this before as a pointless way to build a better blockchain. But to be honest, no one has been really taking this seriously because it goes against what Bitcoin is all about, which is freedom. And I want the picture to be full, but it's not on the ground, so what they're saying here might look especially harmless. Some things are wrong. First, in case there is a hard fork, it doesn't matter which version of Bitcoin BlackRock supports. I think that sounds like vague legalese. If there aren't any clear rules before each turn, there's room for tyranny. Second, the line they used in their filing is very questionable. BlackRock is a business that makes money because they owe their users money, they have to make it. Why on earth would they pick a less valuable fork? This could mean that his or her ETF makes a lot less money. The answer is easy to see. They know that an eco-friendly fork would be turned down by the extra network. In the Bitcoin before the fork, their split Bitcoin price would go down. Could they be getting ready for that to happen? Actually, I think this is something we should be ready for. We can't give BlackRock a controlling stake in the Bitcoin delivers that would give them too much power over it, and they might even start to abuse it. Even the people who worked on the Bitcoin project are giving them money to do things that aren't in the best interest of Bitcoin as a whole.